what's up everybody, and welcome back to more Pirate Galaxy. In the last episode, we managed to take care of some things on Prosperous. We got the villagers some clean water to drink. And in this episode, we're going to make sure that they have clean water for generations to come. We are to meet an engineer by the name of Isaac here. And this is also our first time getting to explore Commerce Central. Very exciting. This is actually one of my favorite maps, and we'll go over that in a bit. Mission is Dirty Water. Now we are going to get through only one mission in this episode. That's because this mission is extremely long. I did have to cut the previous episode short just to make sure we weren't watching like a half-hour episode or something ridiculous like that. But getting back to this being one of the coolest planets in the game, this is the first planet where first story planet rather, where they're really getting away from the idea that the spaceships have to be on the ground. We are hovering just in the middle of mid-air up here. You can kind of see the ground down there, but we are obviously quite high up here. That, combined with the whole pinkish, orangish red that this planet always is, it just looks really cool, and I always like it here. What I don't like here is how difficult the escort missions are. Not because necessarily you're escorting a weak ship or there are tons of enemies, because there are tons of enemies. But the problem is that the spectacularly mediocre ships like to fly straight into the biggest patches of enemies that they can find. Alright. We are going to have to go search this big area to find Sarah's husband. One thing I forgot to mention is that we are passing a new class of Mantis that we haven't seen before, the Mantis Detonator. As the name implies, they do carry explosives on board. They will fire a self-destruct if you let them sit below 25% health for too long. I unfortunately don't have too terribly much to talk about on our way there. I do want to show it though, just because this map is confusing a little bit. You'll notice that there are a lot of places that it looks like you'd just be able to fly around like on any normal map, but there's only like one entrance to certain places. Like right down here is the biggest culprit. This entire section of the map down here can only be accessed through this one little gap. It can be a real pain on some of the later missions here to try and find that. Alright, as we are approaching the mission area though, I do have one piece of advice as we come in here, and that is to watch for the death squad that comes around this corner. You can see it right there, so we have some pretty good timing right here. But this thing can be a real pain, because most of the time, I did get proven wrong the last time I tried recording this episode, but most of the time this pod is going to spawn right here on the Death Squad's path, so you want to make sure that you follow it in. Alright, and now we have to take him back to his wife, but instead of flying all the way back up there through what you just saw, we're going to go to orbit. And I'm actually going to cut ahead here to the point where we get back there. Get back to Isaac's house. Alright, we have arrived back home with Isaac. I'm sure his wife will have a thing or two to say to him about staying out so late and getting his ship destroyed yet again by the Mantis. But before she gets the chance to do that, we have to go on the second part of this mission with her. This second part of the mission really could be its own mission in and of itself. Not entirely sure why they didn't separate it, but as far as I remember, this mission pays pretty well, so it's okay. She is flying the rare Vegas Stun, at least that's the model they use. It is quite a bit stronger, thank goodness. Here we can go over detonators a bit more in depth. The only two items they have on board are their aggro bomb, which they will detonate when they are near death, and the attack buff in addition to their blasters. You can see that that one should run off and blow itself up soon. I don't think we're going to get to see it though, because Sarah's getting out of the way here. This mission, honestly, you might have better luck with two people sometimes, because the first couple of areas aren't really that bad, but the final area that we go to will have quite a bit of crap in it, so you might want to even get someone who's a higher level or has better tech than you to come down and clear that area if you're having too much trouble. Because honestly, you either need to be a fairly tanky engineer, which is why I'm in the rare engineer here with an armor drone on, or you need to be in something that is tanky in itself, and you need to make sure to clear out all the Mantis at this last area. Don't know why I'm saying all of this now, because I am going to end up repeating it later, but I need something to talk about right here. Now here she's going to stop. You're going to want to put something on her to protect her while you collect this thing. On our way to the next mission area, I suppose we could talk about what a badass Sarah can be when she's actually fighting. That is not a weak little ship. She took out 2 or 3 Rocketeers on her own while we were collecting that. Got those parasites very near death. And I really need to remember that I'm not in my Ghost. I agree, Sarah. Let's GTFO. But more about Sarah's ship. She has a repair droid, afterburner, rockets, and blasters, all of which you've probably already seen by this point. In later missions, I believe she has a shield. That might be Isaac's ship. I could be confusing her with that. And overall, she's got a pretty hefty armor rating. Put a protector on her as she goes through here. Let her take the stun. You don't want to let her drag you around this corner because you will get stuck. She takes it a little bit sharp. And now we're coming up on the easiest part of the mission. This is about the safest spot we're going to visit on this mission, so if you want to rest up here and make sure you get all your cooldowns, this is a good spot to do it. If you have any trouble with the next area at all, I highly recommend that one of your first courses of action be to try resting up here and make sure you have all your cooldowns, including gravitons if you used up any up to this point. You definitely don't have to be ashamed of using gravitons on these missions. They do come in very, very handy. And frankly, that's what I save them for. I don't use them except on story missions. Which is why I have quite a few of them these days. Final mission area is not too far from here. Like I said, though, it does bear reiterating. You're gonna need something to support Sarah and or something to take out a lot of ships at once. It does help if you don't want to go NG, if you didn't want to do the NG thing. You're gonna want to A, find this canister very quickly, and B, make sure that you're packing a lot of firepower with you. Luckily this canister was right here. We shouldn't have too much trouble with it. Alright, and now Sarah is following us, thank goodness. I'm taking a beating, she's taking a beating. And we're going to take her home. I'm not going to cut this part out, even though it's not going to be too eventful, just so that we see what happens in the event of failure. Come on, Sarah, keep up. It helps to listen for her afterburner and sort of do this zigzag thing to not get too far ahead of her. But on the bright side, I don't believe she stops if you get too far away, like she would before. But I'm pretty sure that was about the hardest spot. Wait, where did Sarah go? I lost my lock on her. She is. Alright, it looks like we do have some detonators spawning behind us. Those will be mission detonators, but if we keep moving, they shouldn't be an issue. And we are in the clear. That is about as good as mission complete. Go to orbit here. And we do have to fly back to the village on Prosperous, so I will cut ahead to when we finally get there, because Prosperous is on, like, the other side of the system right now. And nobody wants to watch me go back to that village again. Not that it'll be the last time I visit this village. Alright, and we are once again approaching the dome. Our families are paying for our freedom. Thank you, pilot. We will start constructing this water purifier straight away. You've shown that there is no reason not to trust you, so I will tell you our story. We are not badly prepared colonists. We are slaves from Technotoria. We managed to escape the Mantis work camps there, but our families will pay a high price for our new freedom. We must somehow help them, but we can only barely stay alive ourselves. Once again, thank you for the water purification technology. Without your help, we would already be dead. Well, ain't that the truth? Alright, looks like I might have been a little bit too hard on these guys. If they're newly escaped slaves, I guess they can't be expected to know too much about how to take care of themselves. Anyway, finally, that about does it for this video. I am sorry that it took so long, but don't get too used to the shorter episodes, because longer missions like this are going to be the norm for quite a while, and we're coming to the end of being able to do multiple missions in a single episode, unfortunately. I am, however, going to abandon the whole once-a-week thing, and now that it's summer, I have more time to record and a little more interest in recording, and I will try to get things out a little bit more quickly. Anyway, don't forget to tune in next time, whenever that is. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes, and leave a comment letting me know if you would like to see perhaps even longer episodes, if you'd be comfortable with seeing like 40-minute episodes as long as I got through 2 or 3 missions in the future. Let me know what you guys think, because that's definitely something I can do. I will see you guys next time.